Hi everyone, I'm Oscar Garcia, and this is my honors project for my business law class, and it is about cosmetic regulation within the United States and the European Union. So for the project overview, I really wanted to explore the relationship between businesses and law. I was curious in finding out how the law differs and has potential to impact businesses in different ways and people as well. I was curious in finding out if products that we consume are as safe as we think they ought to be. And overall, I wanted to explore the cross-section between businesses, law, and social context. Overall, I wanted to find out how do certain parts of the law differ in a global scale and from region to region, and if there are better approaches to cosmetic regulation in other parts of the world, and to what extent do these regulations protect consumers, and if they are actually effective. And what do these implications mean for a business? And finally, I wanted to see if there were social issues reflected upon the consequences of law or lack thereof. So the first step of the procedure was trying to figure out what part of the law I could narrow down into focus for a project. Regulation came as an apparent option due to its direct effect on businesses. Then my professor recommended to research cosmetic regulation since it is a smaller sector of regulation compared to others. Then I started secondary research to compare what the law says in the US versus that of the EU and see how easily they compare and if there are major differences that would be important to note from a consumer standpoint. So this is a comparison between the regulation in the US and the EU. In the US, cosmetics has a narrower definition while it has a broader one in the EU. Each company is responsible for assuring the compliance of their product. While in the EU, there are many governmental bodies overlooking the safety of the product before being put out, and requires a product to have a responsible person. A responsible person is defined as an individual based in the borders of the European Union who acts as a representative. This person must fulfill the duty of compliance to any regulations and ensure the safety of each cosmetic product marketed in the EU. Risk assessment reports are prepared by Cosmetics Ingredients Review in the US, which is funded by Industry Trade Association. In the EU, they are prepared by Scientific Committee Consumer Safety, which is funded by an independent group of scientists with wide experience. In the US, there are no requirements for labeling or including warnings for nanomaterials, while nanomaterials must be labeled in the EU. There currently are 11 banned ingredients in the US, while the EU has banned 1,600 ingredients to be used in cosmetic products. The following ingredients are actually legal in the US for cosmetic regulation. However, most of these have been banned in the EU. For example, BHA and BHT are chemical compounds widely used in many cosmetics. They are mostly found in lipsticks, creams, and moisturizers. However, these compounds can lead to skin irritations and allergic reactions, and have been classified as possible carcinogens by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. The EU has banned these compounds, and California actually does require a warning that it may cause cancer when used in a product. It is important to note that BHA is not the same as the BHA group, as more research is needed to determine the safety of this compound group as a whole. Another compound is dioxane, which is often not included in the ingredients list as it is created from combining ethylene oxide with other chemicals. However, it can be found in cosmetic products like shampoo, hand soap, or liquid products. This compound has been found to be carcinogenic through many studies, and the EPA classifies it as a carcinogenic. It can be especially harmful to breast tissue and has been categorized as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen by the National Toxicology Program. Formaldehyde has been known to be a carcinogen, but is not banned from use in cosmetics in the United States. And some studies suggest that 1 in 5 cosmetics in the US contain or release formaldehyde. Another important part of the project was trying to analyze the social and economic consequences of regulation or the lack thereof. Something important to note was that women are more likely to use cosmetics, which means they are affected disproportionately more by cosmetic regulation. In addition, in the US, more men are part of the governmental body, which may give women a disadvantage in focusing on regulation affecting them. The Environmental Working Group conducted a study and found that beauty products that were targeted towards African American women tended to be more harmful compared to products marketed to the public. Yet African American women showed to spend more money on cosmetics compared to women of other ethnicities or races. Moreover, the phthalates compound, which can be found in many plastic products, has been found in higher rates in the systems of non-Hispanic blacks and Mexican Americans, while non-Hispanic whites have the lowest traces of this compound. This compound has harmful effects like causing birth defects or hinder fertility. Yet the FDA suggests that not enough evidence exists to prove that these compounds are damaging in cosmetic products. All in all, better consumer regulation would not only benefit a whole range of consumers, but in doing so it would address issues that affect marginalized communities the most. In addition, due to the close trade relations between the EU and the US, it is proposed that regulatory convergence would lead to an increased growth in both economies and in the economies of developing countries as well, which means that changing to higher standards would not only benefit consumers but also the economy as a whole. So this project really made me realize the intricacies of law and how it affects many parts of our lives. Some other conclusions were that there needs to be more advocacy for better regulation in the US and spread more awareness of the potential health risk of not enough regulation and also the social consequences that not enough regulation can lead to, and that we should find solutions to bridge the gap of social inequalities, and also that law may not always stay up to date, and it is up to us to make sure that it does. Finally, I would like to thank my professor for her guidance and time. If it weren't for her feedback, I wouldn't have progressed as far along as I did in the project. So thank you so much for everything.